The battle for dominance and supremacy on the medal table across various sports rages on in the All-African Games competition, with Team Nigeria doing all proud. Good morning, viewers, and welcome to today's Now Streaming Show. As you know, every Thursday is our sports segment of Now Streaming. So we will be discussing sports stories alongside the national trending stories for today. I am Godwin Ujiri, your anchor, and with me in the studio is Mr. Raphael Rafiki or Giacomo. He is a social and sports commentator. Also joining us virtually are two sport enthusiasts in person of Dr. Idesiri Izu, who is a sports analyst, and Comrade Abraham Soko, who is also a sports analyst. Gentlemen, Mr. Raphael, you are welcome to the sports special segment on Now Streaming, and our comrade Abraham Soko, who is also with us virtually. You are also welcome to the Now Streaming show for this morning. And we are on the sports segment of the program. Let's start this very special sports segment with the Punch Sports newspaper for today. On the Punch Sport Extras, we have proudly made in Nigeria, Tanzanian-based defender Tanimu credits MPFL for debut Eagles call up. And we have a whole lot of picture story there. We have Boniface absence cost Eagles AFCON title, and this is coming from Coach Pesero. And then we have leads table 7 million euros for Osai Samuel. Then we have a picture there that says why I am right man to coach Eagles, why I am the right man to coach the Super Eagles, and this is coming from Makinwa. Then above the masthead there we have Egypt extend leads Nigerian distant record after day 6. And I think this is coming from the All-African Games. Then we have Finidi to coach Eagles against Ghana and Mali. I think this is international friendly that Nigeria would be having. Then below the mass head story there, we have golden bronze for female yellow green. This is on cricket. Then we have Bayana defender confident of wins over AFCON. I think this is the much we are going to take on the newspaper. Diving on direct now into the sports segment, a whole lot of intriguing actions have happened across board, say from the Champions League down to the African Games presently being hosted by Ghana. But before we take that story, there is one very intriguing story that I think will be of great interest for us to take. That is on the issue of coaching of the Nigerian Super Eagles. We have so many ex-players in line to take up the job after the do I call it resignation of the coach. So Mr. Raf, over to you now. Who do you think is the best man for the job?
That's a very big question. Right now, I don't know who I can place my money on. One of them who is vying for the job is Coach Finidi George, who is the coach of Eimba FC and also was the assistant coach to Pesero. Another person who is vying for the job is Sunday Olise, who one time coached the Super Eagles, but I don't think he played up to 4 games before he was relieved of that duty. One person again who is vying for that job, Daniel. One person who is vying for that job again, Daniel Amokachi. Amokachi was the assistant coach to Stephen Keshi in 2013. And last but not the least, Emmanuel Amonike, who discovered the likes of Chikwueze and Osimhen. I think they all have their pedigrees. Something came to mind when I was driving here this morning. I said, what if they just put all of them together and ask them to just do the job? Because I don't even know. It's like when they were talking about Eguavon being the interim manager, I asked myself, Eguavon coached the Super Eagles once, you relieved him of the job, you brought him back. The question I want to ask yourself, has he improved before bringing him back? He took us to the Nations Cup in 2019. Is it 2019? I hope I stand to be corrected. Or 2021. Then we came out of the group stage. And then you wanted to make him interim coach again. What is it that you see? Somebody said in one of those sporting shows that you just keep recycling these guys. Nothing to show if they've improved in any way or not. We don't know what Olise has been doing since he left the Super Eagles job. We don't know what Amokachi has been doing since he left the Super Eagles job. And the only person that we know has been doing one or two things over time is Emmanuel Amunike, and then of course Finidi George, who just finished as the assistant coach. So I think every one of them stand a chance, but then again, the question is how good are they in doing this job when you hand this job over to them.
Okay, so if you were to be put on the spot
to pick,
yes, to pick, who would you choose?
If I were to be, like I told you, if you ask me, I'll just mumble all of it together. But if I would put anybody on the spot, I think one person that has not been given the chance to do so is Emmanuel Amunike.
Okay.
Who has not been given a chance. Like I told you, Finidi George was the assistant coach to Pesaro. Amokachi was the assistant coach to Stephen Keshi, while Olise had his time with the Super Eagles. The only person who has not had that opportunity is, of course, Emmanuel Amunike.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think I will be going very quickly to our guest on virtually and in person of Dr. Desiri. Doctor, I believe you are there with us. So I want to ask you same question. So many persons vying for the #1 spot as coach for the Super Eagles, all of them with their credentials. Mr. Raf has given an insightful analysis of if these men have actually been preparing themselves for this job before now. So, sir, what would be your take on this?
All right, thank you so much for the question. Mr. Raf has already laid the foundation, but I will just build on it. My first comment would be that in as much as we are short, so far they've opened the job for application. So it's quite premature for us to discuss because we don't know who has applied, but you might be calling some names now who might end up not applying or might apply but not be shortlisted. But be that as it may, considering what's in the public domain, I want to correct an impression which just will advise the NFF that it shouldn't be a conclusion that our next coach must be an ex-player. Because yes, though we have the sentiment of having, they've been part of the team, they know the setup and the rest of it, but it is also not a guaranteed success that an ex-player will guarantee success. For example, Alan Shearer was Newcastle's record goal scorer, and they were facing relegation, and they sacked their coach, and they just said, bring in Alan Shearer, thinking being Shearer would do the magic. And of course, the team were relegated, even with Shearer being the coach. We already know the great Thierry Henry, one of the greatest footballers ever, and Arsenal's ever greatest player. He coached Monaco, he failed. He went to the US, he failed. So the point is, we should judge people by their pedigree, not necessarily by what they did during their playing days. Okocha is one of our best players. He was made Delta Football Association chairman, and of course, we know what happened. He flopped. He had to resign and go and face his TV punditry and other marketing jobs. So the fact that we have ex-players doesn't mean we must limit our search or our radar only to those ex-players, because that would be sentimental. And look at Cameroon, our neighbors. They brought Rigobert Song and see how he messed them up, took them to the World Cup. Yes, they won Brazil, but that was a dead rubber match, a dead match when Brazil had already qualified. Look at what they played in the Nations Cup. They also lost woefully, and they've sacked him. So my point essentially with the Eagles issue is that we shouldn't limit our chances, because even some of the best coaches in the world, like Jose Mourinho, they're never footballers. As a Wenger, they weren't proper footballers. So we shouldn't limit it to just being a former Super Eagles player. That said, I'm surprised that people are talking about Olise, because Olise should not even be in this discussion
at all.
He has been given the chance, and like you said, he didn't last few games. He was temperamental. He couldn't manage the diversity of the team. He replaced his captain Vicente Yema suddenly, dramatically, without even consulting the team, and so he destabilized the team, and he clashed with NFF, and he doesn't have the temperament to be a good coach, particularly for a national team like Nigeria. And so, and that said, after he left Super Eagles' job, where else has he been employed? Where else? Before Super Eagles, he did something in Netherlands where he won promotion for a team from the SDVC to the Eredivisie. And after then, see, Google only said almost nothing comes out. It's just TV punditry and the rest of them. So how are we sure he has improved his temperament? How are we sure he has improved his technical skills? You get the point? Same thing for Amokachi. Apart from being a commentator at the last Nations Cup and then being assistant to the head coach in the Stephen Keshi days, nothing much can be said. Only Finidi George, who was assistant coach, and also the coach of Eimba, who led Eimba to the league title last season. And currently they are doing so well in the league. They are catching up. I think they are in third or fourth place. So my point is, you should look at their credentials. How many of them have coaching licenses? Which coaching license do they have? Is it grade A or grade B? You understand my point? Because that will also give you weight. And that also earns you the respect of the players. Not just that they are picking you because of your exploit as a former player. So I think the Super Eagles, we should not be in a hurry. We should extend our search and allow people to apply. And then hopefully we'll get the best. That's what I think so far. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and Dr. Idesiri. I would be coming to Comrade Soko, but then I want Soko to respond on two issues. We are presently, Nigeria is presently doing us proud in the All-African Games with a whopping sum of 41 medals, with we catching up with 16 gold, 10 silvers, 15 bronze across various games. And the gold rush came with, I think, badminton, when two Nigerians have to clash, but the defending champion came up to a resounding victory. But these two would also be playing would also be merged to play against others, a gold in that draw that would be played. So, Comrade Soko, given the performances of Nigeria in the All-African Games, we've done so well in, say, weightlifting, we've done so well in most physical sport, wrestling, and a whole lot of it. So what is your take? First is as regards the coach of the Super Eagles, and then this. Can you match both?
I am all for local talents and developing our local infrastructure and both human resource and physical infrastructures in sports. For the coach, I think I want to tour another line from Mr. Rafael and Dr. Izu. I think I am of the opinion that there should be continuity in this job. Having, as Pizarro has left, I think Finidi has been selected to be the caretaker coach for our upcoming games. I think that personally, we should give Finidi the job because he is already there. He already knows the in and out of the team. So I think for continuity's sake, Finidi should get that job, because to be very, very honest, our AFCON performance was not a failure. Yes, it was not a failure. If we are to judge that performance in AFCON holistically, we did very, very well. We did better than most how will I put it, the traditional teams in Africa, like Morocco, the defending champion, Senegal. We did very well. So there's need for us to have that continuity. So that's my take on the whole coaching issue. Then to coming to our AFCON, our All African Games, I think the table you read out just now, I think it has changed. It was Egypt that was topping the medal table, followed by Nigeria. But in recent hours, we have been overtaken by South Africa. I think Egypt has the most medals, 115 medals in total, 65 gold medal, 27 and 23. While South Africa has 77 gold medals in total. 22 of these gold, 22 silver, 33 bronze. While Nigeria is third right now. Nigeria has 22 gold medals, 13 silver, and 20 bronze medals. So, as you have said, the other games, I think the track and field event is slated to commence very, very soon. So, there's still the opportunity for us to move further in this table. Our yellow greens, I think they were the latest to win a medal. They came out bronze, and they did that against a team that was a Ugandan team that was 8 places above them in the rankings. So Nigeria, we are not doing badly at all, but there's need for us to improve on our performance in the All African Games in Ghana. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and Comrade Soko. Back to the studio. Mr. Raphael, what is your overall assessment of the All African Games?
I said here last week that the All African Games is a tournament where Nigeria always does well. Where we usually lack medals is what's it called, swimming, because swimming has a lot of medals coming from there. That's where the likes of South Africa and maybe Egypt and the likes get their medals from. But Nigeria has been having a very beautiful tournament. Weightlifting alone has given us a lot of medals. I remember 3 days ago, Nigeria swooping all the medals, 6 of them gold in that tournament. And then weightlifting, a particular young man, can't recall the name, 3 gold in that same category. The badminton team is doing well. We're talking about indoor games now at the moment, and we're doing really, really good. We have not gone for the track and field. I believe that as time goes on, they'll churn in more medals. Gold preferably. They'll churn in more medals. I just believe that these guys, they are representing the country well, and they're doing so in a very massive way. I feel for the host country, Ghana, who are struggling at the moment. You're 10th on the table with just 1 gold. If they have not even dropped from that 10th position, 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. It just shows you how well they prepared for the tournament.
Thank you so much. Back to our virtual guest, Dr. Izu. I would be asking, what is your overall assessment of the African Games, given the fact that Nigerians have performed incredibly well when it comes to weightlifting and wrestling, still hoping to come up with good medals in other sports?
I think it's commendable that Nigeria is currently in 3rd place, having recently been overtaken by South Africa. Though we have similar medal tally, a good medal tally with South Africa, but they are ahead of us in terms of silver medals, which is the next ranking. But I would not like us to be misled. Nigeria's sports is not yet woohoo. For example, I don't know if you're aware, just a few weeks ago, the Nigerian basketball team could not get funding to go for a tournament, I think World Cup qualifier or the World Cup itself. And this is not the first time it is happening. And so we saw our budget recently, and the budget for sports was abysmally low. So aside the fact that we are saying Nigeria is doing well because we are 4th, we also need to look at our potential. Are we matching our potential, or we are just happy that we are 3rd, And so I think, no, in the past, in the times of when we had Gloria Lozier, Obikwelu Francis, and the movers and shakers of athletics in Nigeria, we always first, at worst 2nd. It was Nigeria, Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Nigeria, Algeria. Nigeria was almost always top or 2nd or thereabout. But look at the gap between Nigeria and Egypt. That should tell you there is a problem. And so, in as much as we want to celebrate the effort of these individuals, it is actually the effort of the individuals. And we really can't say it is the effort of government. Pardon me for that, but that's the truth. Because how many academies do we have? I was seeing a report on one of your sister stations recently where some gymnasts were requesting funding from good individuals to help them go for tournaments. And it has happened in several things. And just like Mr. Raf was saying in the studio, there are in planning all these games like this, Nigeria has talent in football. But at the end of it all, Nigeria football is just one medal. But only in swimming, Michael Phelps alone can win America like 20 medals.
Yeah.
Only in gymnastics, because they have different categories, the bad and different types of categories of the gymnastics, can give another country another 20 medals. Yeah. So while you are happy that you won gold in football, you won gold in 100 meters male and female, that's just 3 medals. But some people just focus on wrestling, and like Mr. Ralph rightly said, only wrestling gave us 6 gold recently. And that changed when they made Daniel Gali the chairman of the president of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation, who again is on record saying he has funded that federation from his pocket. So my concern is that in as much as we appreciate and celebrate our athletes for putting up this showing so far, we have to tell ourselves some home truths that we have a whole lot more to do, particularly at the grassroots level. Why can Nigeria not totally dominate swimming? Nigeria has ample water bodies. Go to the Niger Delta, they are born swimmers. All they just need is coaching so that you can know how to do the butterfly and different techniques, and they are home and dry. But we have countries who don't have water dominating swimming because they have learned these things, unlike us, and natural swimmers. So I think we need to do better in grooming them. Where is our school sports? Before we used to have Youth Sports Federation of Nigeria. Where is Youth Sport? We used to have school principal's corps, different age grades, constitution, the headmaster's corps, right from primary school to secondary school, and you catch them young. But now we don't do that so much. We now rely on most of our top athletes. We're not groomed in Nigeria. They were groomed abroad and then switched, maybe down when they, like those who got scholarship to the NCAA, our golden girl now, the hodler, Tobiga Amuso and the rest of them. And then they got training abroad, and now because they were Nigerian by birth, we have adopted them. How many of these our athletes did we groom from here in Nigeria? There was a time when Nigeria was exporting athletes. Gloria Aloze was a Nigerian hodler who later Spain poached from us. Have you seen Bahrain, for example? Bahrain, if you see their entourage to the World Athletic Championship, almost a third of them were Nigerians or blacks. So where is our development system? Other countries are developing our own talents and taking them. Portugal took Francis Obikwelu from us. Yes, the list is endless. So in summary, while we celebrate and appreciate our athletes, most of these things are done by individual effort and not necessarily an established program of government that churns out people to replace them. Since Okocha level, we've not got a new number 10. Why? Because we are waiting for one club abroad to develop a next Okocha for us. Why can't we groom our next Okocha? Why can't we groom our next Olise or our next Kanwanko and not waiting for Father Christmas to give us those gifts? So good kudos to them, and I hope that in the rest of the tournament we can at least win back our second place if we cannot get the first from Egypt. But let us take our second place so that we can have bragging rights.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Izu. Moving on very quickly, although our hope, our expectation is that attention will be shifted to all of these other sports that Nigeria is not doing favorably well compared to all other ones that we have been shining our opponent. Like Dr. Izu rightly said, swimming is one of them, and we have a good numbers of born swimmers everywhere spread across Nigeria. Moving on very quickly, Mr. Raf, I always say I'll be dragging you out on every of our show, and this is on Champions League. We have Arsenal versus FC Porto, and winning on an aggregate of 4-2
on penalties.
Yes, a whole lot of persons says it is because Arsenal is home advantage, everything worked for them. As an Arsenal fans, what is your overall take on that match?
You might want to say that again, that the home fronts played a part. You have the 12th man, the fans. Same thing he played a role too for Porto when they played back in Portugal. They won by a goal to nil. Arsenal also won by a goal to nil, and they had to go to penalty shootout. It's now they say penalty is a game of luck, but then again, how well prepared are you? If you see when the game finished, what's it called? Arteta went to the penalty guy, the guy that took them through penalty as the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches of Arsenal, and then was pointing to him that they should appreciate him. It means they've done a lot of work to be able to get that weight. If you notice, Raya got his hand on 3 of the balls, even though 1 entered, but at least he showed you that he was really ready for whatever was coming. Kudos to Arsenal. And I said it here last week that Arsenal will get 1 over Porto 2. I said it here last week.
All right. It is easier said than done. We wish Arsenal the best because I think this season they're actually in their scoring form. Comrade Soko, over to you. And I need your insightful analysis on Barcelona-Napoli. That match was something else, but I think Barca is way to the quarterfinals, if I am correct. So, what would be your overall take? And I actually don't want to call Mr. Raf on this, but what do you think would be your take if Arsenal were to face Madrid in? All right.
Let me start with the last question. If Arsenal was to face Madrid, there's what you call a football heritage. And when you go by football heritage, you cannot compare Arsenal to Real Madrid in terms of football heritage. Okay. But in sports, in recent form, Arsenal is doing very, very well. Sad to say, you understand, because I'm not an Arsenal fan, but they are doing very, very, very well. So I think the performance, let me start with Arsenal. Their performance in the Champions League was really perfect. I think they were also propelled by their home advantage. The atmosphere, I watched the game, the atmosphere was unique. It was the fans really got behind their team. So that played a big role to that victory. Then let me go to the question you asked on the Barcelona-Napoli game. I was really surprised because I gave everything to Napoli winning that game, simply because of the fact that Barcelona were lacking some critical players, especially in the midfield. Pedro was out, Gavi was out, De Jong was out. It was even Christensen that had to come into the midfield temporarily to shore up the midfield. So they also brought in some of their youth players. They brought in Yamal, and they brought in the defender Kubusa. You understand? So I really did not see Barcelona winning in that game. I was surprised. Within the first 30 minutes, they already scored 2. It was Napoli that we are not chasing the game. Try as much as they could or they wanted, they couldn't get back. So kudos to Barcelona, and Napoli. They have to try again in the next year.
Thank you so much. Now over to Dr. Izu. Knowing fully well that UEFA, it's hard, the merge and 2 English team, and then we have in Real Madrid, Barca, Dortmund, Man City, and the rest. Knowing you also as a Madrid fan, the question still goes, what is the chances of Arsenal being merged with Madrid, and also Man City being also merged with Madrid? What do you think is the chance of your club?
Well, it's a draw. So draws are really not so predictable. And unlike the round of 16 where certain teams were protected, 2 teams from the same country cannot meet each other, 2 countries from 2 teams from the same group cannot meet each other, and then 2 first-place teams can't meet each other, just like that. But in the quarterfinals, all those regulations are off. Anybody can meet anybody. And I made a post this morning on my social media account that at this point in time now, everybody is praying to get either Arsenal or Borussia Dortmund, but it appears they are the weakest teams, both on paper and in terms of experience and, like Comrade Soko said, football heritage. because as much as Mr. Ralph will want to hype them, I want to remind Arsenal fans that Porto has an abysmal record against English teams. In fact, since Mourinho led Porto to beat Manchester United in 2004, when Porto eventually won the league, Porto has been consistently losing to English teams. So for Arsenal to even manage to win 1-0 and then come out on penalties and be celebrating like they won the lottery, I think they need to tamper their expectations so that they don't get disappointed. I'm an Arsenal. I used to be an Arsenal fan before I saw the light. I have to protect my health. So, as a Real Madrid fan, and like I said, almost everybody is looking forward to, is praying fervently to get Arsenal or Borussia Dortmund. You know, when you used to write Jan, I have first choice course and second choice course. I can't get Arsenal. But please give me Dortmund, because you can imagine Real Madrid back at El Clasico, it will be war. You can imagine Real Madrid Bayern Munich, it's also war. So I think it's even in UEFA's best interest that they separate Real Madrid and Barca, or Real Madrid and Man City team, maybe semi-final or final, because if they knock themselves out now, we will now have a similar scenario of last year, where once Man City got to the semi-final against Real Madrid, you just know that whoever won that semi-final will win the cup, because the other one was Inter against I think AC Milan. So I think I'm expecting Man City to go far, because at this stage, Man City has a superior record to what's it called? Madrid has a superior record to virtually every other team left. Yes, Man City are defending champions, but don't forget that Copenhagen was able to score them home and away. A minnow like Copenhagen, and just like Liverpool showed over the weekend by using their children to play them a draw, they are not invincible. They're not like before. So at this point, give us this day our daily Arsenal, our prayer.
Dr. Izu, Dr. Izu, yeah. And Arsenal is going to surprise you. Remember what Arsenal did to Real Madrid in 2006? That's what is going to happen.
2005, then I was an Arsenal. I can tell you the lineup. Then I was an Arsenal fan, and then Arsenal had Real Madrid. Don't forget. So we had Arsenal had Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
who was the Galactico, and he was the one that single-handedly led by scoring from the halfway line.
Yeah.
So don't make it look like it was a narrow escape. And, don't forget that. So, we even want to avenge that. In fact, after you said now, they have to support that record. So, in closing, I would prefer Arsenal for Real Madrid. If they can't give us Arsenal, we'll take Borussia Dortmund, or we can take PSG.
You don't, Dr. Izu, you don't want to play Man U or Chelsea?
No. We're talking of adults. This is the Champions League. So I will take it in order of Arsenal, Dortmund, or PSG. For my club, Real Madrid. The rest can go and pray their own prayers. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Izu, for that interesting analysis. However, I wanted to give Mr. Ralph a chance to defend himself, because this has been a whole lot of backlash. But I think you will be doing that and merging it with this weekend features. So I think we'll take it off from there.
He has prayed his prayers. Okay. You know, I jokingly put on my platform, my social media platform, I said, as now at this stage, we would love to play either Man U or Chelsea. I'm not even looking at any of those people, because at the moment, what you have are strong teams. If you even ask me, I don't think Arsenal is that weak of a team when you put them together with the teams that are there, with the likes of Dortmund. Everybody was surprised Barcelona defeated, Napoli. Yeah. Because people thought Napoli was going to run over Barca. So, but I still give my team. I'm still with them any day, anytime. And I believe wherever it is that Arsenal is playing, Arsenal will come out tops.
All right. So the weekend features. So what's your take on that?
I know Arsenal is playing Man City at the weekend. I think also, if I'm not mistaken, Liverpool, Manchester United. I stand to be corrected. But I know that of Arsenal and Man City is going to be a deciding factor because these two teams are vying for the top position. Because right now we have the very close call. Now nobody is expected to lose. Even a draw is a problem because the points that are separating these teams are just 64, 64, and 63. As a matter of fact, Arsenal is topping by virtue of goal difference.
Okay.
Yeah, by virtue of goal difference, which is 46, while Liverpool has 39 and Man City has 35. So, but like I said, it's a game, or is a like you want to recall a do or die affair. This is what they call do or die. And like Dr. Izu rightfully said, Man City are not as invincible as they used to be, and Liverpool has shown everybody that even a Haaland in that team that they couldn't even get a clear shot on goal. Only had one, if I'm not mistaken. So, but this weekend, I'm sure.
All right. I think a last question for you. Who do you then think will win the league?
Okay. No, someone said this season is going to be like I've forgotten the year, but that was decided over goal difference because the two teams had points, and I think is what is going to happen this season. But I'm giving it still.
Okay.
To Arsenal.
All right, no problem. I wasn't expecting anything else from you. Going back to our virtual guest, Dr. Izu and Comrade Soko, who do you think, what is your prediction on the weekend features, and who then do you think would win the league? Comrade Soko, are you there with us? So please, you can respond to that.
I'm here with you. For who do I think will win the league? I'm still going to go by experience because Liverpool has this history in recent times of bottling things up. I think there was a time that there was a battle between Liverpool and Chelsea for the league. I think there was that famous Steven Gerrard slip. So when the pressure is there, when the pressure comes, I don't think Liverpool or even Arsenal will be able to cope with that pressure at that particular crucial stage in the league. I think we have about 10 games to go. So when the pressure piles up, I think Arsenal and Liverpool, they are going to boot. So I'm going to give the league to City. For the weekend fixtures, the Premier League is supposed to see Arsenal and Chelsea. I think, yes, but it was postponed due to FA Cup engagements. So the Manchester United Sheffield was also postponed. So the games we're having on Saturday is Fulham and Tottenham. That's the game we're having for Saturday. And that one, I see a draw because Fulham is performing very well recently, and Tottenham, they are also doing very, very well. So the first game for that day on Saturday will be Burnley and Brentford. I think that will be a relegation battle because Brentford is slipping down. They are performing very poorly in recent times. So that is going to be a relegation dogfight for that particular fixture. On Sunday, Everton will take on Liverpool. That was also postponed. So the only game on Saturday for Premier League is West Ham and Aston Villa. So I see Aston Villa coming out on top of that one, despite West Ham home record. So most of the weekend fixture is overtaken by FA Cup. So it's a weekend of FA Cup on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. I actually wanted to ask, as a Chelsea fans, which major competition recently have Chelsea been able to participate on?
Okay. Chelsea has been overwhelming recently.
Really?
Understand? But despite that, it's still a work in progress. I would say this. We just lost a disappointing Carling Cup final. Was still in the running for the FA Cup glory, and if we can win the FA Cup, that will mean an automatic qualification to Europe. So in the scheme of things, though we have been overwhelming, it's a work in progress, and we have individual performance in Cole Palmer. He has been fantastic. I believe that City will be biting their nails for selling that that outstanding youngster to us. So despite our disappointments, there are still individual moments. There's still a touch of hope. There's still a beacon of hope for the future. So I'm still optimistic. Chelsea's a work in progress. I've not lost faith. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And I also want to thank Mr. Raphael, who is with us in the studio.
Thank you very much.
And viewers, thank you so much for being part of today's special show, and to have wonderful guests. We say thank you all so much for all of your insightful analysis. To all of your insightful analysis to us this morning. We are truly grateful. Viewers, always remember you can still be part of our show that comes up your way tomorrow, same time. And we want to say a good thank you and bye for now.